Alright, hello, here we are making the Mega Bracelet from Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. The Mega Evolution Bracelet in the game that's used to help make your Pokemon Mega Evolve with a little thingy on your wrist. I'm going to teach you how to make your very own easy supplies at home. All you need is some glue, water, some styrofoam, a gray Sharpie, a lighter gray paint, a rock, glue, whatever, and an X-Acto knife. Be careful, those are dangerous. So, just back up, so throw that out there. The idea is simple. What we're going to do is we're going to cut out the form of, if I can get this out of the package, of the bracelet itself. And then once we have a stable, solid form on the styrofoam block, we are going to cut it out. I just said that. We're going to cover over it with paper mache to give it a smooth, like flat top, in which then we're going to paint on, draw the design, and then add in our Omega Stone. And it's simple as that. An easy, fun to do thing to do for this upcoming Halloween. Let's say you want to dress up as a Pokemon trainer. So using the X-Acto knife, again, be very careful. You want to cut away at your styrofoam block until it is a very fat cylinder. So like you want it big enough to where the hole in the middle will fit your wrist and you can get it on and off. And then, fat enough to be able to comfortably take one of these rocks, put them in the center, whatever looks or feels natural to you. There's not a universal size, so you don't have to worry. I'm going to use this X-Acto knife to just cut off the pieces as I need. It'll be easy peasy. I am going to move this water. I am going to fast forward through this part, save you guys some time, so. So now we have that circle. Now as you saw, it's a little bit too big for my hand still, so what I'm actually going to do is cut off about that much. Bam. That way I can more easily slide it on without fear of it coming off. Now put this away. Again, very dangerous. Don't be reckless. Don't like I am. You shouldn't really need that for now. You can go ahead and set, where'd it go? There we go. You can set it aside for now. You won't need it for a while. Clear off your board. Good luck vacuuming after this, by the way. It is a bit messy. So the next step is going to be, actually, bring that knife back. Yeah, I'm wrong. Okay. The next step is actually going to be, wherever you put this, if you do put it, on the opposite side here, you're going to want to cut arrow, draw it for you. Cut out a small circle. Now, how big the circle should be actually depends on these. You're going to, whatever stone you decide to do to have be part of your Omega Evolution bracelet should be about that size. So I'm going to gonna go ahead and go with this one. So, about that big. So what I'm going to want to do is go a little bit around it. And I'm going to want to cut out an indent right there. Not a big indent, just enough to nest it inside. That way it's not just sitting on top, but it's actually nested into your bracelet. So now that we have all that, now put your X-Acto knife away. Another good tool you can use for this process is a heated blade. Some craft stores will sell those, and they're made for cutting through styrofoam because it'll heat up and you just melt right through. That is an option available to you. We have our cut out styrofoam shape. Next step is paper mache. Now, I love paper mache. It's not the most strong material, so it's not good for like weapons or anything, but it makes wonderful for props because you're able to get a smooth, flat surface on almost anything. All you need is paper, some school glue, and that's it. What you want to do is you want to take some water and you want to add in school glue to that water. Now, a lot of times people recommend making paper mache out of flour, and you can, but I find in the end the product is not as durable as if you use glue. And also, you commonly run into this issue of it'll just be super powdery. And like, you'll have just dust and powder and this flour everywhere, and that can be very irritating. Whereas this will soak in, it'll glue on solid, and no real residue in the end. So if you want a proper ratio of how much glue to add per water, you can find that online. I personally just boof a bunch right in there and mix it up. When you do, you want to make sure it's fully diluted, a nice good mixture. There you go, that's looking good. It'll be a nice cloudy water substance. Actually, I'll add let's get some more in here for good measure. Let's make it nice and sturdy. There we go. Put this away because we will not need, well, I guess we might need this later for that, though I recommend hot glue gun instead. Let's get that out of here. Anyway, so we have our shape, our crudely made shape. We have our water. Then all you really need is paper. Now, I'm going to just be using plain white paper. Plain white paper for simplicity's sake. And all you're really going to do is you're going to cut off small bits. I recommend size like this, maybe a little thinner. You're going to just soak it up, get it wet, and then you just lay it on there and make sure it conforms to the shape. Press it on, make sure it's secured all nicely. And you do that all the way around, and you'll just let it dry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this side, let it dry for a bit, flip it over, get this side. Adding 2, maybe even 3 layers isn't a bad idea. It will help have more layers, because when we're done with it, we're going to sand it down to make it smoother, so extra layers isn't a bad idea. So let's fast forward through that one now. So there you have it, your paper mache covered wristband. It's a bit damp. Now, as you can possibly see during Let me get this camera right. You can probably see how it's got wrinkles in some spots from the paper. That is what the double layer and then sanding off routine is for. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to let it dry, I'm going to add another layer, then I'm going to let that dry, and then we will come back to this soon. Okay, it's been some time. It's now fully dried out. It's just this, white blob with wrinkles all over it, and that's what you expect. It's very lightweight still, which is good. If the wrinkling bothers you, like, it will for some people, I get that. What you can do is take some sandpaper, sand over it. I seem to have lost my sandpaper, so I'm not going to go through that. But, of course, the next step now, the most obvious, is painting it. Now, you want a silver-ish paint because the wristband is silver. So I went with this here. Let me just grab. Alright, so I've got paper towels, good thing. Always good to have when dealing with wet items. Paint's wet. It's got liquid. I only need one square, I guess. So, for this particular instance, you want to take your silver paint. Make sure you get enough because you're going to cover the whole thing. All of it. Everything here. All of it entirely. Cover it all. Now, if you are like me, you plan poorly. I have forgotten a paintbrush. I'm just going to finger paint this bad boy on here. If you have a paintbrush, be sure to clean it thoroughly afterwards so that it doesn't dry out and ruin your brush. Or in this case, make sure to clean your hands thoroughly afterwards so that it does not dry out and turn you into a weird alien gray-handed person. Alright, so, let's fast forward through all this. So, here we are, we're back. I've got this nice, thoroughly covered in paint, nice silverish paint. My hand's just as silvery. Then, let it dry. If you don't like, if there's any empty splotches or whatnot, be sure to cover them up again. But for now, just sit, let it dry, check back after. I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, we're back. It's dried up a bunch. So you have a glue gun now. We'll use that for the rocky bit. Next thing you want to do is you take your dark gray Sharpie, and then you'll want to draw the pattern that's on the wristband. And I will put up the pattern on screen so you can see for yourself what I'm trying to accomplish. And it's a fairly simple pattern once you look at it. I've got it here on the side for me. So you take your gray Sharpie, and it's got to be darker than silver, that's the important part. And you want to just start, drawing in. Ooh, some of it's still wet. Just start drawing in those lines. So let's fast forward. Okay, we're back. Forgive me if it's a bit hard to see with the shine going on. That's the downside to silver, but that'll be the basic pattern. Bunch of trapezoids, really. And then comes the centerpiece, so to speak. You want to take your hot glue gun, which, whew, it is hot. Just drip a bit of that off there. Yeah, into the water where it'll cool, you see. Now you take your hot glue gun. You want to take the gemstone that you've chosen for putting in the center. And it's simple enough. You just want to fill that centerpiece with some hot glue. One nozzle squeeze should be enough. And then just, while it's still hot, just squish that bad boy right in the center. Just like that. And you want to give it some time to dry. It won't take that long, but, enough to make sure it stays comfortable. If you're wanting additional strength, like you're worried it might pop out, then you can either add more or surround some here in the edge. But then you add that, and then there's one final piece. You'll notice in the middle of the gemstone in the images, it is kind of like an S swirl shape with some lines in it. You don't need to add it. It's a small detail, but if you want to show that you know what it is, you can add it. I recommend a Sharpie. A metallic Sharpie would work better if you choose, because it adds to that reflectivity. But it's simple as that. It's just swirl. If it'll even show up on this bad boy. So it's that swirl with the S. You can't really see it well, and there's light. And then honestly, that's all that's left. You have your silver wristband. Just squeeze that bad boy on, and just bam, you have the bracelet in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the Mega Bracelet. This would be a fun activity to do maybe with children, except for the X-Acto knife and hot glue gun part. That might be parts that you want to let adults take care of. Otherwise, the paper macheing and the drawing on and the painting could make a fun activity for kids and then add to their costume. I'm Branden with GamersUnite.com. Thanks for watching, and good luck.
Thank